This is the danger if a group like Al-Qaeda has a haven in Afghanistan to plot acts of international terror. The September the 11th attacks on the United States prompted the US-led invasion to combat the threat. But 20 years on, as American and British forces draw down, a former spy chief has warned Al-Qaeda could rise again.
If we're not there, it seems to be their capacity to organise in Afghanistan is going to go up, and we know from history the risks of that and what might happen.
Sir Alex Younger recalled what the UK and its allies found when they first entered Afghanistan to hunt Al-Qaeda and oust the Taliban regime that accommodated them.
What we saw there was a level of terrorist infrastructure that could only have been imagined before we got there. Training camps that would have been not out of place in a sort of conventional military or special forces barracks.
He therefore cautioned against neglecting Afghanistan, as happened when a previous Russian intervention ended in 1989.
It would be an enormous mistake for us to do that again. The reality is that there are groups there. We've been very successful in disrupting both Daesh and Al-Qaeda. They're on the back foot, but it would be wrong patently to claim that they have gone away. And they have the capacity to regenerate.
These militants, linked to Islamic State, or Daesh, surrendered to Afghan forces in 2018, but around 2,000 remain at large, while Al-Qaeda, once significantly diminished, has up to 500 fighters in the country.
So we are going to have to think very carefully in the absence of troops on the ground about how we deal with that. It's vital that we don't make the mistakes that we made last time round.
What would be the consequences if the West did turn their back again?
Well, I think if terrorist groups are allowed to regenerate somewhere like Afghanistan, it will lead to more threat on the shores of our country and our allies.
On the ground, some locals are mobilising to support the Afghan government against the Taliban. The former MI6 boss predicted 3 scenarios for the country: some kind of compromise, a full Taliban takeover, or most likely, civil war.
We cannot hide the fact that a more chaotic Afghanistan is going to be more dangerous for the international community writ large, and that includes us.
It's a prospect that's painful to contemplate for soldiers like Andy, left with mental and physical scars from their Afghan service. One comfort was the belief they'd helped to keep the streets of the UK safer. Now even that's in doubt.
No words can describe how angry I am about it, knowing that the men we've lost over, the men and women we've lost over it. And it just feels like we're going backwards at this point. The entire thing just felt like a waste of time.
Not completely. The Taliban now know they'll suffer if Afghanistan again becomes a launchpad for terrorism. The UK and its allies will also hope a network they've built to counter the threat can cope. Deborah Haynes, Sky News.